What's the point of learning how to pump if in the end you're stuck at the same spot? I mean, you cannot expect to always have a nice dock wherever you're going, right? So you'd better learn how to rock start as soon as possible so that you can really break free and start from everywhere. And you have a couple of months, 2 months, to learn it before the start of the summer, so that you can go to the sea and start from everywhere. Wherever you are, you just take your foil, you start, and you go exploring. Let's dive into it. So first thing first, the dock start and the pumping should be like natural movements for you at this point. Otherwise, you're really gonna have a hard time learning how to rock start. So really work on your dock start until you have a success ratio of about 6, 7 out of 10 starts. You can check the pump foil guide if you haven't yet, the link is in the description below, to know the exact technique that I suggest and the step-by-step process to get to the perfect technique. Believe me, if you learn how to dock start the way I explain it inside the guide, you're probably going to be able to start from the rock at the first or at the second session. So the second step is just to remove that little step that you're doing in that dock start technique and go from this step, jump to a simple jump. You're gonna have less speed when you land on the board, so it's important that you keep the board very high, you give an explosive push with your legs, and you are super gentle with the landing. With foils, with a nice low speed lift, you're gonna have time to let the board stabilize, and then you can hop and start the pumping movement. But with faster foils, you're gonna have to pump and to hop straight away, straight after you land on the board, and then immediately pitch the board down to start gaining speed. Perhaps the most important thing of this start is how you distribute your weight on the board with your hands before jumping on the board. First off, you have to give this little push, otherwise the board is not gonna have any lift. And then actually you can press with your backhand because there is a mass there and there is lift. So you really have the possibility of taking a little bit of the work of your legs by helping yourself by leaning on the board and pressing a little bit on your backhand. If you pay attention at my hands placement, you will notice that I place my hands in such a way to make it as easy as possible for me to land on the board. So my arms are not obstructing my jump. If you're not that consistent with the dock start yet, I really recommend you to practice these movements on land. So you just have to look for a wall like 60-70 centimeter high, and then you have just to practice this jump. You place your hands, you move your hands, and you jump on it without falling, possibly. When you're doing this exercise, after the jump, it's important to hold that squat position, to hold that position, to really train your muscle memory to keep that position. This is very important because when you land on the board, you want to stay a little bit there to let the board stabilize, if you can. If you have a fast foil, probably you don't have time to do so. If you're struggling with this exercise, you should probably work on your flexibility. Stretch your hip flexors. Once you're pretty consistent with this static start from the dock, well, you're almost there. It's time to find the right rock. Let's go. So let me show you how the perfect rock looks like. So this is the rock that I usually use, and essentially you want to make sure that you have at least one steep side. If you have like two, steep side is even better. It's going to be easier to hold the board closer to your body. Then make sure that it's deep enough. Right now it's a little bit shallow because the tide is pretty low, so I would risk to hit my foil, to hit the seabed with my foil. But yeah, of course you shouldn't have any rock in front of you, otherwise you're gonna hit it with your foil. This, on the other hand, it's not a good example because it's not steep, so you're gonna have to keep your foil further away from your body and it's gonna be harder to jump on it. This one, again, it's not a good option because look there, you have a rock right in front of you. This one is not that bad because still you have a steep side there, but you have a few rocks around. I don't know if you can see them from the camera, and also the space, the area that you have on the rock to stand on, it's pretty limited. This one is absolutely a no-go because it's not steep at all. Also, this one is not steep and you have other rocks underneath. This one is not that bad because you have two steep sides. You just have to be careful of that rock there, and you don't have a lot of flat surface on top to stand on. Of course, not always it's possible, but you should try to have a look at the spot to spot the right rocks before, so from above, so you really have the possibility to see the rocks around. This one is not that bad because it's pretty big, pretty steep. You just have to be careful because there are a bunch of rocks down there. This one is submerged, so it's gonna be harder, way harder to start, but not impossible. And after that, you don't have anything, so it's kind of okay. This one is very good on one hand because you don't have anything in front, and you have like two, almost three very steep sides. But on the other hand, you literally have almost no surface to stand on, so it's gonna be harder to maintain the balance while you're holding the board. It's gonna be harder to push while you're jumping on the board. This one is almost perfect, if not perfect, because you have two steep sides, you don't have much in front, and you have a little bit of surface. Okay, not much surface to stand on, but still should be good. This one is good, but it's submerged, so maybe it's good if you have a little bit of experience and you want to practice from submerged rocks. And that one is absolutely a no-go because it's not steep at all, so you cannot stand there and start there. Yes, I'm picky, and ideally we should be able to start from every rock. But again, we're trying to learn, right? So it's better to spend a little bit of time, to invest a little bit of time in finding the right rock. Oh, and when you're looking for the rock, you should also consider how easy or how difficult it is to get on top of the rock again once you fail, because it's very important at the beginning. The easier it is to get on top of the rock, the better, the faster is gonna be your learning process. That first rock that I showed you is like perfect because you have a 1 meter deep sandy seabed. I almost forgot to mention that, of course, with a longer fuse and a bigger sub, it's gonna be easier because the board is gonna be stable.